The Falklands War. Fought between Britain and Argentina, the war started on the 2nd of April of 1982 following the invasion of the British overseas territories of South Georgia and the Falkland Islands by the Argentinians. Because of this illegal occupation, the British government responded by sending a naval task force to liberate the islands against the Argentine forces. The war lasted for 74 days and ends with an Argentine surrender on June 14, 1982. The Greco-Turkish War of 1897. This 30-day conflict initiated over the territory of Crete, located in the eastern part of the Mediterranean Sea. After numerous independent revolts from the Ottoman Empire and long-desired union with Greece, the Greek army landed in Crete to unite the island from the Ottoman hands, and declaration of war ensued. Within weeks, the Greek army were outnumbered by the Turks, which led to their defeat on May 8, 1897. The outcome of the war resulted to the intervention of the great powers of Europe and established an autonomous Cretan state under Ottoman suzerainty the following year, with Prince George of Greece and Denmark as its first commissioner. Sino-Vietnamese War. Following the Vietnamese invasion of Cambodia in 1978, China launched an offensive assault against Vietnam, seeing the invasion as a Soviet attempt to expand their influence and communism throughout Southeast Asia. The war persevered for 3 weeks. The Chinese army were unable to emancipate Cambodia from the Vietnamese, preeminently withdrawing from Vietnam. Although the conflict is inconclusive and both China and Vietnam claiming victories in the war, it significantly changed the landscape for both countries, as China ended their support to Pol Pot's Khmer Rouge, while Vietnam remained in Cambodia until 1989. The Georgian-Armenian War. Due to their defeat in World War I, the Ottoman Empire signed an armistice which ended the empire's occupation of Lodi and Kiev-Mokartli, resulting in both Georgia and Armenia claiming the two territories, emanating the two countries into war. After diplomatic efforts failed to resolve the issue of the disputed border and lasted for 3 weeks, Great Britain put an end of the war by demanding them to sign a ceasefire. Gracefully, the two nations signed, leaving the disputed territory under joint Georgian and Armenian administration. The Serbo-Bulgarian War. On September 18, 1885, the Principality of Bulgaria declared their annexation of Eastern Rumelia because of increasing ethnic Bulgarian population in the region. Bulgaria's western neighbor, Serbia, were concerned by the unification, fearing of Bulgaria's dominance in the Balkans. Austria-Hungary, who's expanding its influence in the Balkans, negotiated with Serbia, promising to give them more territories if they declare war on Bulgaria. But that's what King Milan I of Serbia did, declaring war on November 14th. The war ended with a Bulgarian victory after Austria-Hungary threatens to declare war if they continue to advance into Serbian territory, so both nations signed a ceasefire and a peace treaty on March 3, 1886. This conflict is important for Bulgaria, as the nation defended their unification, and many countries recognize Bulgaria as an independent nation, which they achieved independence 23 years later. The Indo-Pakistani War of 1971. Since the partition of British India in 1947, the relations between India and Pakistan had been strife for over 39 years, with the two previous wars that they fought in 1947 and in 1965. But this one is significant, as it involves a region that is struggling for independence. For 8 months, East Pakistan had been fighting for independence from their western counterpart. By November, tensions grew between India and Pakistan, indicating war will be inevitable. And on 3rd of December, the PAF launched a preemptive strike on 11 Indian airfields, culminating into war. The Indians quickly invaded the east, preventing mainland Pakistan troops from entering India's soil, leading to their defeat on the 16th, and signed the Instrument of Surrender in Dhaka, granting Bangladesh's independence from a 30-day war. SixDay War. In May of 1967, the Egyptian government received bogus reports from Soviet intelligence that Israel was consolidating its troops on the Syrian border. Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser assembled his forces, putting them along the Israeli border in the Sinai Peninsula. Following Nasser's orders to blockade the Strait of Tiran and signing an alliance with Syria and Jordan, Israel carried out airstrikes towards Egyptian air forces and suppressing both Syria and Jordan by capturing Jerusalem and the Golan Heights. After 6 days of fighting, Israel signed a ceasefire, giving the Sinai Peninsula, the West Banks, and the Golan Heights back to their rightful owners. The Agadir Strip War, also referred to as the Christmas War, it started when military captain Thomas Sankara staged a coup and seized power in Burkina Faso, leading to a territorial dispute with Mali. This has been over a long strip land called the Agadir Strip. Also, due to amount of natural resources in the area, on Christmas Day of 1985, the Malayan military launched a ground assault on the Burkame province of Guram Guram on the strip, which started the conflict. Many African countries tried to stop the two nations by resolving it diplomatically, but failed in several occasions until the 5th day of December 30th, where they eventually signed a truce, leading an estimate of 300 casualties from the war. The Football War. You might assume this is about two football clubs fighting to win a football game. Well, this is not the case. Sort of. In the summer of 1969, tensions surfaced between El Salvador and Honduras because issues of land reforms and immigration sparked violence on both sides. But what really escalated these two nations into war was triggered by a football game. After El Salvador won in the 1970 FIFA World Cup qualifier finals against Honduras 3-2, El Salvador cut diplomatic ties on Honduras and invaded the country on the 14th of July. But by the 18th, the Organization of American States intervened, calling for an immediate ceasefire and a withdrawal of El Salvadorian forces from Honduras. El Salvador, pressured by this, decided to abide the OAS and an informal ceasefire was signed, leaving many Salvadorian troops to leave and withdraw from Honduras. The Anglo-Zanzibar War. When Sultan Hamid bin Tuwani died on August 27, 1896, he was succeeded by Khalid bin Bargash as the new sultan. Prior to Hamid's death, Zanzibar's relations with Britain were strong, since Britain served the island as a protector, and Hamid has a substantial support for the Brits. But when he died, his successor despised the British and gathered 3,000 soldiers with small amount of weapons and one Zanzibarian yacht called the HHS Glasgow. The British sent an ultimatum to Bargash demanding him to abdicate, but he responded by barricading himself inside the palace. Unusually, the British bombarded the palace and within 38 minutes, Khalid bin Bargash surrendered. The casualties of this 38-minute war is ironic, as many 500 Zanzibarians were killed, while on the British side, one soldier was wounded and made a full recovery. Wow, not a single scratch from that guy. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you do, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter, that's at MrJMan19, which the link will be in the description below. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.